Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laureli Shimayo, and this is the MeWe Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest. We start again in September 2021, hopefully. And we also have lots of events online. This is our Awakening panel. We have 6 practitioners on the panel tonight. All of our panels have themes, and tonight's theme is Lionsgate, Cosmic Activation. And my dog wants to participate in the panel tonight. So let me go get my, oh, wait, no, he's changed his mind again. He almost participated. You can come over later if you want to. So Lionsgate, Cosmic Activation. We will talk a bit about Lionsgate. We'll introduce ourselves so you know who we are, and we'll talk about Lionsgate, and then we're available to answer questions. It might have to do with Lionsgate specifically in your life and meaning and what's here to open. And it may be about any topic that you want to ask us about, and we'll answer it probably in the context of the Lionsgate that's coming. Oh, yeah, just very exciting. All right, let's see. Well, so practitioners, I'm open. Does anyone have a preference? I know Valerie's not at her desk at the moment, but maybe, does anyone have a preference? Does anyone want to share first? So we'll just, I think what we should do is just each share about ourselves first. So maybe take a minute or two to introduce yourself, and then we'll come back around and talk about the theme afterwards, because I know there's just so much you'll all want to say about the theme. And if you don't think of something the first round, then you can come back in and jump in after too. Does anyone want to go, particularly want to go first and introducing themselves? Or would like to? All right, well, Susie, you do this a ton. Let's have Susie go first, and then we can have RaShar go after that. All right.
Okay, thanks. I'm Susie Parker Goins of Blue Lightning Healing and Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. I'm a channel, so I bring divine energy through Source, and it presents to you in whatever way is most accessible to you for you to establish a relationship, have a conversation with them. I don't care, exchange jokes, whatever you want to do. But the point is you can develop this relationship so you develop trust and can work with them. I'm also an energy healer, helping you release blockages or withheld trauma, stuff like that. Also, a past life explorer. I love doing that. And a lot of times what comes up in the session is whatever you need in this moment. I also have a podcast called Blue Lightning Healing Meditation, and that's on Spotify and Amazon Music and a few other places. You can go to my website at bluelightninghealing.com and find out. Oh, golly, that's right. I have a podcast page there, so you can just click on that. How convenient. You can reach me at Susy, that's SUSY, at bluelightninghealing.com. And I do have a special tonight. You put in MeWe 20 and you will get 20% off a 30-minute and an hour session. So thanks so much. I'm looking forward to sharing with these fabulous panelists and with the amazing audiences.
Thanks so much, Susie. All right, RaShar.
Hi, I'm RaShar Divine. I am an ancient arts shaman, as well as Astral Ascension alchemist. That entitles a lot. I do help with the past life, energy healing, as well as the whole astral plane, clairvoyant, helping you with your abilities, also bringing back past life issues or challenges, and we integrate them into this life so that you can use those abilities here. You can reach me at soulsovereigntysolutions.com. I actually have a special just for MeWe, and it is $22 for 15 minutes. If you need a session, some clarity, and you need to know, you can reach me there.
All right, great. And then Rina-fay.
Hello, everybody from the Mount Washington Valley in New Hampshire in the United States. My name is Rina-fay, and I am the River Witch Fairy. I am a fairy shaman and spiritual coach. I work with everyone of all walks of life, but primarily women and children. And I do a lot of different work, but mostly helping people to resolve and reconnect back within from traumas and heartbreaking, life-altering events, and helping children to stay connected to their magic and their imagination as they grow in the physical world. I do a lot of work with women yoni healing, connecting to that goddess energy and the sensitive parts of their body and what connects them to the universe, creation. And I also do a lot of astrology work, and I'm very, very excited to be here because I work directly with the Fae in everything that I do, my psychic work, my shamanic healing, and my astrology work. And so I'm so excited to be talking about a time that has such potent energy right after we've just had the first harvest feast. And yeah, I am offering a special tonight for the MeWe panel. I'm actually offering $10 off any astrology reading. I will put all of this info into the comments. Okay, I'll put my contact info and my info to get a hold of me so that you can see my astrology menu as well. So $10 off tonight. And so happy to be here with friends.
Great. And I just got a bunch of your contact info in the chat just now too. Feel free to add whatever you want to have on there as well. All right, Valerie.
Much thanks.
Yeah, so hi everybody, I'm Valerie Szarek, and yeah, kind of ditto to a lot of what people have said. I started a healing practice in '73 after studying Silva, which really kind of, the gift of Silva was teaching me how to tone down the world a little bit because I was so psychic. I just kind of picked up everything. So it was really nice to get that gift of toning it down and having a little control over that. I've studied Barbara Brennan's work, Integra, alchemical hypnotherapy, but it's really shamanism that is my main modality for healing work. And most of my, if I'm not doing shamanic healing work, I'm writing poems and receiving those kind of words. Which I'll just share with anybody who will listen, including the UPS driver and the pharmacist and the nurse practitioner. Everybody around here calls me Poet Val, and that's my website, Poet Val. I also offer soul-centered writing workshops once a month and online now. So I do my healing work a lot, long distance. I work with people all over the world. And I'm in my sessions usually run $100, and my special is $65 for a shamanic or a healing session. So happy to be here and see what happens tonight.
Thank you so much, Valerie. All right, go back to Ashley if you're, all right.
Hello, I'm Galactic Ashley, and I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. I use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. And I facilitate these galactic guided intensives, and we just started one, and the registration, you can still join us. And tonight we just had an extremely powerful Lion's Gate activation, and the Syrians came in. It was pretty awesome. So if you are interested in getting your galactic groove on with us, or exploring the star nations at all, or if you're just looking for Ascension guidance and you would like to be in a group of amazing souls, there is a coupon code in there for to join us so that you get a discount. And I'm really excited to be here tonight because 8/8 Lionsgate's coming soon, and the energies are here, and we had quite a wild solstice ride, and the equinox even last year in the fall. Woohoo! A lot of solar frequencies and energies are coming through, so it's pretty awesome. And thank you all for coming out tonight to get your galactic groove on with us.
Thanks so much, all 5 of you. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I read your eyes to read your soul, to help you better Better know and love and express your soul and live your purpose. Make choices that are great for living your purpose and supporting others to do the same. I will say I may be answering some questions tonight. The specialists are the other people on the panel. I was really excited to be here again for our second panel on Lionsgate. So this is in preparation for Lionsgate. It's in a few days, and I know this time is still a special time right here now before. All right, well, let's go through and let's, I should say I have a special tonight too. My readings are 40% off. You can learn more about me at laurelishamayo.com. That's LaureliShimayo.com. And I'll put my info in the chat too. All right. Well, let's see. So let's talk about Lionsgate.
I just want to say something real quickly because the beings were talking about, the Syrians were talking about vision tonight and the eyes and the ability to vision. So I would say that you are actually very much a specialist for tonight. So do it.
Thank you. It was all about expansion, right? And being who we are. Then totally in alignment with what that's about. All right. Well, yeah. So let's chat a little bit about Lionsgate. What is Lionsgate? What does it mean to you? How do your work connect with Lionsgate? Really just helping people be in the energy of what it is tonight. Some people probably are here just to learn and just whatever openings we want to do as part of our opening before we answer questions. And I'll go look and see if anyone's in line already. I'm open to whoever. Does anyone want to start sharing about Lionsgate? Want me to choose?
I guess I can go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, especially since we were all just together. So a lot of the frequencies and the energies that have been coming through is really about bringing in activating the courage, and so that you are willing to invite the frequency of truth into your foundation, so that you are willing to see not what is true, but what the truth is. And that's difficult for us as humans to do, because we tend to become quite attached to our belief systems, and we're not even aware of the belief systems that we do have, because a lot of them come through our the way that we were raised, our culture. Belief systems are absolutely embedded in the languages that we grew up speaking, or the languages that we speak every day, and these create the architectures and the way in which we manifest the things around us. So they're very much focusing on that, and also to remind us that our sun is connected to source directly, and that these are beneficial and healing codes and information that are coming into our earth to facilitate and to help us to ascend. And we are in a period of time where we are being asked to remember sort of our history, our true history, like not the false history, but to actually remember our history, so that we can transmute it or heal that which needs to be healed, so that we can lift these timelines out of us. And this is also an opportunity, just like a really base layer, is that anything that you are ready to just throw into the fire, to lay down at the altar of the pyre, to let it burn, it is the time to do that, because originally the Stargate, like Sirius rises during this time, and it's actually after the Galactic New Year, and then there was a Syrian, they call it a Syrian corridor, and it was happening earlier in June. So all of these things kind of line up, and then during ancient times the Nile would flood, and this would create abundance. So, but you kind of have to prepare and release what you don't need in order to create abundance in alignment with your highest timeline. So this is definitely a time to release what doesn't serve you, to look at where you have attachments to the old paradigm, to let that go, and to really be very specific, because we're also in a new year, right? To be very specific about what it is that you are seeking, so that you can be on your highest path and purpose.
Great.
Right on, sister.
Great. Who else wants to jump in and share about Lionsgate? Go ahead, RaShar. Yeah.
Well, exactly what I mean, we are both in the astral plane, so and my galactic team, I don't know if they know each other, but we are saying the similar things. Basically, with Lion Gates now, it's a time to stop hiding. We were in the Piscean age, now we're in the Aquarian age, and we have to be the change that we want to see in the world. So in the Piscean age, we were supposed to be quiet and not show our power, keep your head down. That time has passed. It's time for all of us that are not just awakened, still awakening, still learning, that have come to the earth right now as star seeds, light workers, whatever you want to call yourself, for this time right now to awaken humanity to their potential, not what we believe we are, what we've been told we are, what our parents told us we were. We have to claim back the energy that we already have. And a lot of things at this point is at 0 point. We've had all these retrogrades, these eclipses, bringing up old stuff, deal with it, put it back in your face. Oh, I healed that, went through the dark night of soul, and here it comes again. We've been going through this cycle because we're at this point of, do you really want it? Are you really ready? What are you going to do it? It's inspired action. It's time for us to not just talk about it, but to show it in the earth, show it in Gaia, and also to join together. Some people have chosen different paradigms, different timelines. It's time for all of us, like we're doing right now, as practitioners and as participants, making a conscious decision to come here to change and be the change that we want to see in the world. It's really hard, at this, well, I wouldn't call it hard, I'd call it challenging, because we were taught that our divine feminine essence, was a no-no. And, that got buried in the Atlantean age. And we are literally unearthing all those skills. They're sacred teachings that we forgot. And so now everything's getting balanced out. The collective evolution is in the consciousness. And as a collective, if we all share the so-called belief system that we have no limits, humanity's future would look a lot different. So that's what Lionsgate is to me. In my experience, I do deal with the astral plane. That's all I do. My grandmother was a 109-year shaman in Brazil. I went there for 20 years, learning every summer through her. So I'm really in the astral plane. Akashic records, anything you think of in the astral plane, I deal with it. Dimensional travel, dimensional cells. So for me, this is like a big, big development for humanity. And I'm just happy that people are willing to do the work. Like I ask people all the time when they come see me, they're like, I'm not the love light. Oh, everything's love and light. No, it's dark and light, and you have to balance it. And do you want to deal with it? Or are you going to hide behind something? Because you can say, oh, I want this, but do you really? And you have your spirit team, you have your ancestors, you have your galactic team. Just like Susy and others have said here, you can channel them. You have the abilities. We all have the abilities. What is your decision? Are you ready? Do you care what anybody else thinks? Because you chose this time in your timeline before you came here to be right where you are right now. To figure out, what? It's time for me to have divine action, inspired action. And all of us on this panel are your support team. So that's all I wanted to say about that.
That's great. Thank you. Who else wants to jump in and share? Lionsgate. Val,
I'd love
Rina-fay,
to jump
Susy.
in.
Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm so into what's being said so far, right? Right on. This is potent energy. And so I can give my advice or, my expertise on what's happening with the fairy realm right now, right? So what's happening when you step outside your door into your backyard or going on those hikes, at the end of the summer? What are all those beings doing out there, right? As we're kind of moving into this change of the season, but not quite yet. We're just starting to feel the inklings of moving into the dark season. It's like foreshadowing. And so we've just celebrated the first feast of the harvest, right? Which is really it's like the in-between summer, or sort of celebrating the last bits of summer that we have. And the elemental beings are really making this big one last push to bring down the sun's rays, really heat things up, give us that last bit of major vitamin D sensation and that enjoyment, and the plants flourishing and everything. It's like a big last push. And so it feels like there's a lot to celebrate. And there really is. This is like a big celebration time, right? Because we're enjoying the last bits of that major sunlight, at least in this part of the world, right? In this hemisphere. So this, as humans, as we're so closely related to the Fae, this kind of translates into a couple of different ways with how we're feeling. Some of us are feeling a lot of anxiety right now and anticipation, because we feel like, there's something to celebrate. We're so close to the beings outside in nature. How could we not pick up on those vibes? They're celebrating. They are, being awarded and rewarded for all their hard work that they've done through the season. So naturally, it feels like we should be doing that too. And sometimes that can translate into anxiety in humans, because if deep down, if we don't feel like we've accomplished, or if we don't feel like we're moving in the right direction to our hearts and our soul's desire, we start to have a little bit of anxiety, because everybody's celebrating. We feel like we should be too, but we don't know really what we're celebrating. Okay, at least that's kind of what's going on deep down inside of our subconscious. And then some of us are feeling like this is a great and potent time, and we feel great, and we are exerting ourselves even more into whatever our goals, whatever our manifestations are, right? And that's how we kind of know that we're on the right track. So, my advice, because I know what the Fae are up to at this time, and why they're celebrating, right? Because they know that they're on track, or they know they're on schedule with the change of the seasons. So if you feel anxiety through this time of celebration, this time of potent energy, that is probably a good sign that maybe you just haven't uncovered yet what your true subconscious goals are, or really fully connected with your heart's desire. And that's okay. That's all right, because this time of season comes around every year. So maybe, this Lionsgate portal is a great time for you to dig deep and get in touch with your heart's true desire. If you're feeling that anxiety, if you're feeling like a little bit of depression or just disconnection, and if you're feeling really energized and invigorated and like you have so much energy, but you don't know what it needs to go towards, well, I think that you're probably really close. So maybe you just need a little bit of guidance, and you can tune in with your guides. You can go right outside and literally put your hands on a tree, look up and get a little bit of vitamin D, and immediately feel that reconnection, because you're really close and you're on a great path. So focus on the positive, focus on what's in your heart right now, because this is a great time. And you're literally feeding that energy, not just into the universe, but first directly through these spirits in nature, the Fae, and they will help you translate that energy. Hope that makes sense. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Rina-fay. All right, Susie or Valerie? Oh, Valerie.
I'll go. I love all the information that's coming out here because honestly, I don't know a lot about astrology. I haven't made the effort to do it. And apparently, from what my astrological friends say, being an Aries who doesn't really care, is typical. But what I can tell you is that what I can tell you is how the energies that have been like swirling around, how they've affected me. And maybe somebody can relate. I don't know. But I have found that taking the time to tune in to whatever energies are around allows me not only to connect with them, but to they have actually expanded what I can do. I'm finding I'm more sensitive. I'm happy to help other people, and we dig deeply into whatever issues they're working on. The energy I've felt, for me, I you know, there are a lot of times people said, "Oh, could you sleep last night with that retrograde or whatever it is?" And I was like, "No." So I'm a lot of times opposite of what goes on. So I have felt a lot more peace with what's going on energetically around me. I do take time to kind of look at the bigger picture, but I also focus in on what's going on with me. So energetically, yeah, I feel my energy is expanding and I am tapping into a lot more things that seem much deeper. And then after having learned, having my light language activated by Galactic Ashley, I was like, wow, it's an amazing thing. I use it all the time. So asking folks to tap into what they know is theirs in is theirs innately. And it's interesting that we're talking about stepping into your power and becoming more in touch. I just wrote up and I'm editing a meditation about stepping into your own power and identifying who you are. We're talking about identity in there. And so this is a time for us to figure out where we are and where we want to be. And I feel that's something that we can always do. It's not an a task that has a hard stop. We're always looking to see who we are and how we fit in the universe. And the universe opens up to us, source opens up to us and said, here, come sit with us. We're good. And to grow and to take advantage of these times where or vortices are opening or the energy is swirling around. So it's like a great big ride for me. I have fun with it. So I'm yeah, yeah, that's my contribution. Thanks.
That's great, Susie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Valerie.
Yeah, it's great to listen to everybody, and thank you for talking about what you're feeling inside, Susie, and thank you for talking about anxiety, River Witch, Fae Queen. I appreciated hearing that because as healers, we often think it means that we're always okay and we're always together, and it's kind of the opposite sometimes. Because I know I feel things pretty intensely. And I've been really noticing so much chaos. A lot of people that I've been talking to are in a lot of pain and hurting and struggling, and there's just so much chaos. And so I love the word remember. I like to say re-member. Like it's like, how do I want to remember myself each day? Like I can get up in the morning and feel fine and say, wait, I was stressed last night. Why was I stressed? Oh yeah, now I remember and I bring it all back. Or do I get to make a choice about remembering myself in a different way, like putting my arms and legs and pieces back on with a kind of a different focus and a different way. But the last couple of days, I've been hearing people say, remember as the opposite of dismemberment. And I've never really heard that before. And now I've heard it 2 or 3 times in the last 2 days. And I'm really loving that. But so my contribution right now is, I love that we talk about Sirius. I love Egypt. If you go back 6,000 years in Egypt and you lay Orion over Egypt, everywhere a star touches the earth, there's a pyramid, and his belt is the three major pyramids that we talk about. And the Milky Way, it would be in direct alignment with the Nile. So this is a really important time in Egypt. And so I'm happy that so many people are talking about it. And the last several years in my journey work, I've been really getting a lot of clarity that we were entering into a new paradigm. And a new paradigm really means a new normal, breaking the old norm. And boy, does it need to happen. And this paradigm is so radically fresh that in my journeys, I often draw my journeys afterwards, I was being handed scrolls, and I would draw the pyramid, or I would draw the Sphinx, I would draw whales, and I would draw these scrolls, and the helper spirits kept giving me scrolls. And I got really clear that they were my Akashic. And I asked my helper guides, are you telling me to read my Akashic records? And they said, no, we're telling you to write them, which blew my mind, because the Akashic is the library of everything that ever was and ever will be. But here they're giving me scrolls and they're saying, it's time to write the Akashic. And the only way that this could possibly be real is if we're in a paradigm so new, there's not even an Akashic anymore. So I want to talk just a minute about coronavirus, about COVID. So last year, March, I did a shamanic journey with the virus, with coronavirus, when it was just starting out. And I was sitting outside drumming, journeying, and she appeared as a goddess in I want to say it's a throne, but it wasn't ornate at all. And it's so funny, but I want to say 4 legs, which of course a chair is 4 legs, but it was a 4-legged square throne that kind of had a sense of a Mars, the god Mars throne. And she was this bright goddess in golden color, beaming at me. And so as I spoke with her, I realized that she was Sekhmet. She was sitting in the golden aspect of Sekhmet. Now, Sekhmet is the lioness goddess in Egypt. And when humankind got really out of control, Sekhmet came in and just wiped out whole swaths of us to bring us back. Of course, then she got bloodthirsty and it went wrong, but still she has no problem wiping out large groups of humanity to bring us back in order. But Sekhmet is the feminine face of the sun in Egyptology. And if we say one word for sun is corona, so to call her the coronavirus and to see her in the feminine face of the sun and Sekhmet just blew my mind. And when I met her, she was beaming, she was smiling, she was so proud of herself and so happy. And she told me that, well, and back a minute, I was wondering, how are we possibly going to go into this new paradigm? And I feel like the goddess went, well, watch this. Why don't we make everything stop? The whole world, let's just stop everybody for a year. And I just had to say, well played. Well played. What a brilliant freaking move. So she told me that it's the quieting, that we need to get quiet so she doesn't have to do more to quiet us. She also showed me that our protection was akin to frog medicine, the essence of water. And if you remember in the beginning of Corona virus, everybody would say, wash your hands for 30 seconds. And you'll know you're washing it for 30 seconds by singing happy birthday twice. Well, this goddess said we are not, so our protection is akin to frog medicine, the essence of water. We are not washing our hands to kill the virus, but as an offering, water running over our palms while we sing, which I just really love that. Sekhmet's husband, partner, consort is Ptah. Ptah means I speak into being. It's the breath sound. Ptah is the creator through word. In the beginning is the word. So yay, poets. And so writing the Akashic, creating this new paradigm, things like the Lion's Gate opening is, we just keep stepping more and more into this new paradigm. And so if you imagine stepping in an anthill, how everything scatters before it comes back to order, or somebody maybe correct me, it may be called a shearer plate, where you put sand on a plate and you put a tone into it and it makes a sacred geometry pattern. And then if you change tones, it goes into total chaos and then it comes back into a new order. So I really think we're in that chaos. And I just think it's just as uncomfortable as can be. And I think the other thing keeps coming up for me is the Wizard of Oz. But and when Galactic Ashley said we need courage, I went, oh yeah, the lion. So maybe more of that will come in this evening from me. But thanks for letting me share.
Thanks so much, Valerie. Great imagery. Wow. All right. Anything else anyone wants to share about Lionsgate? I know you all shared. If you want to jump back in and share anything else too. Sometimes hearing each other, more things ping. All right. Well, we are, great appreciation for you, Valerie, in the chat. And I know I've got a video that has an example of that plate that you're talking about. I was just looking for that, so I'll post that in the chat in a moment. All right, well, we are available as a panel to answer your questions. Let me go ahead and I will put us all on screen here. I'm moving us to gallery. You can show it on your screen however you want. Yeah, so we're here to answer your questions. It is free to be here to listen and learn, and it's 16 to 24 sliding scale, or $10 for BIPOC to ask a question of the panel. Also, if you want to give us feedback on your time here today, we'll put you in a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. Does anyone hear a whooshing sound, or is it your speakers? Anyone else hear a whooshing sound?
I do hear the whooshing.
Oh, it's better when you spoke.
Yep. When you speak, it's not there, but when you're not, it's in the silence.
Let's see, there was one person that was unmuted. I muted them in case that was it. Maybe it's my computer. Let me see if I mute.
Yep, it's you, girlfriend.
It's me. All right, let me put my earphones back on, see if it goes away. My computer is doing something. And then...
Hey, girlfriend, may I throw in a very short poem right here?
Yes, go ahead.
So the Wizard of Oz keeps coming up for me, and it's our American myth. It's our American hero's journey story. And so this is a poem that came in for me that I want to share with you right now, that I want to offer. There's no place. Dorothy's house once again caught wing, yet this time there's no wickedness to soften her landing. The clouds intervened, and azure dreams wove a net so thick, bluebells and tulips had to stretch their necks to reach the light. Seeds blew up like kites, racing the sun to greet this girl who learned that home is everywhere. So that poem seemed like it would just fit right there. Thank you.
Thanks, Val. All right. So we're available to answer your questions, as I mentioned, right? So 16 to 24 and $10 for BIPOC. And then we don't have anyone in line at the moment, I don't think. So whoever wants to go, you'll be first in line. We request that you pay before we answer your question. And a few just logistical things. When you ask a question, and it can be about any topic, right? We might answer it in terms of Lionsgate in terms of tonight, and we'll answer. We'll meet you wherever you are. When you ask, keep in mind that this is recorded and this will get posted online. We may go deeper than you want us to go in this context, or we may share about other topics that for us are related, but that you don't want us sharing about here, and that's fine. We're here to honor you. Please let us know. You can let us know beforehand, before we start, or please, anything we share that you don't want us sharing and talking about now, jump in, interrupt us, let us know, wave your hands, get our attention, however it works, and we will change course. Also, we believe that everyone is intuitive, and being here is a great opportunity to expand and open to your intuition, noticing what comes through you as we answer people. If you want, something's coming through you in anything that comes to your presence, you might want to take notes, as things often don't stay for very long. They're fleeting, they float away. And then if you want to, when we're done answering someone's question, let's please let the attention stay up on the panel while we're answering. When we're done, if you want, you can write the person privately in chat and ask them if they'd like to hear what came through for you. And please honor whatever they share. They might be full after they hear answers from us. If they want to, please go ahead and share with them, and trust that if they don't want to hear that it came through you for some other reason, then to share with them. Please aim to not take it personally. And someone asked a question. Oh yeah, if you want to ask a question, how do you pay? I'll put it in chat again too. You can pay by PayPal or Venmo, or I can read it on Square. So I'll put it right in the chat in a moment. And someone asked a question, is the hawk connected to Sekhmet? So if one of you can address that, that would be great. Since you all know more about this than I do.
Now, Horus is the hawk god in Egypt, and all of them intertwine, but I'm not sure of any close connection between them.
Right, anyone else say anything to them? Yeah, go ahead, just jump in if one of you wants to share something. Practitioners. Okay, someone just paid. Let me just get that all checked, and then you'll be in line. Oh, and where did my mysterious tools go? All right. Yeah, and any other general questions like that, Jonah, I'm just checking. I seem to have lost my PayPal on my phone, so I have to figure out where I've hidden it. Aha, no, there it is. All right, great. Horus onto Wikipedia. Yeah, that's great. All right, cool. Oh, and yes, okay, Jonah, I see you in there. All right, great. Let's get you up here. If you want to be in the front, make sure your video's on, and I'll spotlight you. There you are. Okay, great, great. All right, Jonah, our first question.
Just let me know. Okay. So yeah, so I guess my question generally is just what if you have advice, if you have messages, if you have healing for me, anything like that. I feel like I'm doing well. I was just initiated in some breathing practices that are connected to Autobiography of a Yogi, and then another one through Art of Living. There's another, Sri Ravi Shankar is supposed to be a living master. They're both kind of Hindu type. So I feel that that's a good kind of path. And generally, I feel like I'm getting messages and so forth, but I just feel like there's difficulty that I have in fully loving myself or fully letting go of some stuff. So I can say more if it's going to be helpful, but maybe I'll just let you go based on whatever you have for now and ask me more if you need to.
All right, great. Thank you. All right, practitioners. Okay, so RaShar might be ready.
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, great. And practitioners, we don't know how many questions we're going to get. So let's
Mhm.
aim to stay more in the 3 minutes or so each. And
Okay.
if we're not getting more questions in, we can take more time. And I'll bring another practitioner up if someone's ready. So you have an idea that the 3 minutes is coming to a close, and then just finish up sometime soon. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Jonah,
Oh,
is it?
we can't
Mhm.
see you. Can you tip the phone at all so we can see your face more? Okay, great.
There you go. Soon as I saw you, I thought, seer. You're a seer. But I feel like you don't, how do I put this? You remember, but you have worthiness issues that you have to overcome in your belief system. Not sure where it's coming from. I didn't look to see how far back the worthiness issues, but I really think, as I'm looking at you, because your ancestors and everybody's with you, so you just don't ask them very many questions. You have the sight. Every time I look at you, I see seer. Like it's like you have like a glow over your head. And again, can you look at the camera real quick so I can see your eyes? Yep. Yeah. Why don't you think you're worthy, hon?
I don't know. Sometimes maybe I'm expecting myself to be a teacher or enlightened, or I'm holding on to ways that people treated me poorly in the past. I can think of high school, in particular.
Because it's like you know it. You already know, but you have this expectation coming from a belief system that has nothing to do with you. It's like someone putting you like you're supposed to be this. And I'm looking at you and I'm like, he already knows. You're just not confident enough to show it. And also, you have to have the knowing, not the belief, that you don't need anyone else's approval. And I think that's where that unworthiness is. So it begins and ends with self-love. When you're doing your meditation, just really get in touch. And then I feel like this little sadness behind you. That's why you keep putting your head down. I'm like, hon, look at me. Yeah, you gotta, I know, I understand. You have a beautiful spirit, but it's like you doubt yourself when you already have the answer. So I love that you are doing the biography of the yogi. Oh, I love it. That was one of the first things that I was already awoke. I thought I was. I thought I was. And then when I went through that, it was fantastic. So it's levels. And that's what I see as far as concerning you. I do see that you have a whole other way of thinking that we actually need right now, of a different perspective. So.
And I want to ask quickly, how do I ask my ancestors or guides more? I assume it all happens telepathically, like they're always listening.
Well, all you have to do, honestly, people think it's a woo-woo thing. It really is not. It really is not. You honestly can have an area in your house that you just dedicate a little coffee table, get a candle, light it, talk to your ancestors. And from that point on, they will be there and answering your questions. They just have to know that you actually want their advice. They're just like angels, spirit guides, anything like that. They're sitting there, but you have free will. So you have to decide that you want it from them. And again, they're there to guide you. You already have the answer. They shouldn't tell you, oh, you need to do this, this, this. That's not, if something is coming to you like that, that's not your ancestor. That's how you'll know. Your intuition will kick in. So your ancestors, you'll know, you'll feel the connection.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks, RaShar. All right, Susy is next.
Hey, Jonah. Yeah, what RaShar saw, she saw your ancestors, and what I saw was that this worthiness issue is a recent development. I looking back at your ancestors, they had their own thing going, but there wasn't any major oppression going on there. And it is, uh, yeah, RaShar hit on a lot of the points that I was coming up with. It's a recent development, and it is a question of being in an environment where you were taught not to trust what you knew. So, not trusting what you actually know, whether however you get that information, and for you it's a very strong intuitive pull, but because you were taught not to trust your intuition because science or facts or logic or whatever, you were taught not to trust. So, yes, you're on the right path. And I think that the breath work is going to help you move through these this this self-love. What I do is that, I breathe in love and I breathe out something that's not serving me, whether it's anxiety or fear or grief. So you could do breathing in love and breathing out, I don't know, distrust or um, other people's expectations, that sort of thing. And just go with that until you can get to a point where you can say breathing in love and breathing out love. And that will help you to release whatever clogs you have. I feel that I don't see specific guides. You've got a whole lot of, it's nice. A lot of times guides show up in individual, easily digestible kind of forms, and you've got behind you, it's not an angel, it's not necessarily ancestors, but you've got this big, um, it's a big light. It's source. Source is your guide. And to access this information, you ask. It's not going to come swooping in like a bolt of lightning or anything, but you're asking because Source wants you to connect with it in a way that you become comfortable communicating with it. So, like with my guides, they would give me some insight and I'd go, "Really?" And it would go back and forth to the point where I saw my guides just going, "Oh, for God's sake, just trust us." So developing your own trust, developing your relationship, however that manifests and however that's most comfortable for you. But you have at your disposal like they're saying all of creation, your soul goes back very really really far, like at least Atlantis, but no, they're like no, Lemuria. So it goes back all that way, and you are remembering the things you know. So these spiritual practices you're enacting, you have done them before, and they want you to remember it. That's what Val was talking about. We are remembering who we are, and this is your opportunity to do it. And yeah, like RaShar said, you have got not a special brand of it, but you have got this ability to distill it and be able to express the essence of your message in such a way that so many people will go, "Oh," and so many light bulbs are going to go on, so many souls are going to open. No pressure, really. But you've you've got this amazing ability, and it's time for you to open up willingly, and you'll be fine. You're going to be fine. You are so protected and loved. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Susie. All right, Galactic Ashley is next. And by the way, Daniel mentioned in the chat about a new crop circle everyone too.
Crop circles.
Related to, yeah, there's a link in here, but I'm not here. Maybe I share my screen real fast. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but
No, I love crop circles.
so I guess here. So Landscape Portal Crop Circle.
Where is that?
Daniel, if you want to jump in and say where it is.
I assume it's over in England. I haven't read it because I just looked it up online, just saw it just now, so I thought I would throw it in, but I don't mean to take away from the current conversation either.
The Hampshire Crop Circle. Okay. Sorry, just for some reason it wanted me to jump in with it. All right.
Did oh, what's really interesting about the crop circle, maybe I'll just read that for a second, is when we talk about stargates and portals and how they work structurally, and with sacred geometry, they look like those triangles, but they're shapes, but they're rotating opposite of each other, and they plug in to they plug into the Stargate, and this is kind of what allows it to open. So what is fascinating about that is that when we look at ourselves, because we are Stargates, and when we connect with Source and when we're connecting with the Earth, we are bringing in these frequencies that they weave themselves together into this whole. So it's like we're a torus field. But a couple of things. Susy mentioned Lemuria, and that aligns with the kind of the messages that were coming in. So several things, and this all aligns with the Lion's Gate, is also to bring the masculine and the feminine into balance, but also when in those moments that you are feeling lack of self-worth or doubt in oneself, these have been coming up collectively in people, and what that is the feminine wound that is coming up to be witnessed. So when you ask what is the reason as to why I am feeling like this, it can be in this lifetime, but it can also be from other lifetimes. And it is the feminine nature and the feminine power that has been erased and scrambled from our history. So any moment that you are feeling that, and it might be when you are being asked to use your voice or when you are being asked to go out and express yourself, that is the feminine part of you that is showing you her wound so that you can use your breath work and breathe through her and release that and forgive that part of you and to forgive her, right? Because there's no blame in this. When you if you're Lemurian and you have experienced a Lemurian Holocaust, your soul becomes so fragmented, it becomes dust within the planet. And those are the kinds of frequencies that are being drawn up for people to release, because these are parts of you. And the earth is kind of like really getting herself back together, and we're being able to access more information. So the suggestion would be to be aware of your thoughts, and when you have those moments of unworthiness, to just stop, and then you can just ask yourself, is this a feminine aspect of me? Do I need to know where this came from? Is it from this lifetime? Can I release it now? And just witness her and release it. And you can connect consciously with the sun, because what we're being asked to do is to connect our feminine principle to the sun and to the solar energies. And that's really important for this time. And then I will just say on my YouTube channel, there are a couple of meditations that might help you with the feminine energies that you can listen to. And then there's this 30-day program thing that I'm doing on there, and it's all free, and so you can go there if you want. But there's one of the words, because the beings have been talking a lot about language, that language is the architecture of how we construct our worlds around us, that you can, belief is one of them. And so there's like a transmission that you can just listen to that I think would be helpful. So just paying attention to the words that you use, and don't use the word deserve. Well, we're going to remove that out of our vocabulary.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm getting that the breath work is really, really good for you. And the more that you breathe, what's going to happen is, I believe that you're RaShar said that you were a seer, and that's also a type of channeling. So the more that you begin to breathe, you're working on your circular breath and essentially becoming one with these source energies, which are coming through our sun. So this is a really very powerful time to release things and to connect with those God codes and let them come in, and to invite them into your breath, into your body, because that's an act of creation. Each time we breathe, so if you don't do anything and you feel bad about yourself, if you took a breath that day, you created. So you did something. So you can always go to sleep knowing that. Okay, that's all.
Great, thanks, Galactic Ashley. And then RaShar, I assume you had something just quick to share again?
Yeah, it was
Go
a couple of exercises that, well, I sun gaze, and like Galactic Ashley was saying, right now, as the divine feminine aspect is healing, is it's a safe way to sun gaze, like when it's rising, the first 30 minutes, and when it's setting. You get a lot of information doing that safely. Also, one thing I remember I used to do a lot, being aha yoga and channeling and having abilities, I would have to say to myself when I woke up, as soon as my eyes open, I release any energy that is not mine and have it return out of my body. And I call back all of my soul, every part back to myself, so that I was well aware and have an imagery of seeing it come back into my body and releasing anything that's not mine. And like Galactic Ashley and Susy was saying, the divine feminine right now, like I said, it's been buried in the Atlantean age, and everything is literally coming up. And we're saying, you know what, it's not as bad as we thought it was. And people are starting to remember, and the feminine aspect has been shamed so much. So all of this supposed deserving things are coming up. So we're getting all these skills that we didn't even know we had, and it's balancing out the collective, because we've been in the really masculine area, but right now we're really learning about our divine feminine, and I'm in everything. So astrology, Black Moon Lilith is in Gemini. That's the communication coming to light. And it's like, you know what? Time for the distortions and the lies to go away, and your belief systems that are not in alignment with that, you need to decide, make the choice that that's not your story anymore. And just because who knows you better than you? So when you get those thoughts, just remember, like she said, take that breath, remember, call yourself back into your body, because all you're doing, I've worked with like 200 people. All you're doing, as I'm looking at you, is you're remembering. You're not, most of this stuff is coming from past life issues that were like unfinished. So all you have to do is really, you're just in the act of remembering, and you just, in this incarnation, you've been having all these belief systems and these lies and these distortions, and they're not in alignment with you, because you already know. You already know. So they're telling you, no, it's not. And you're like, yeah, it is, and that's where you are right now. So just wanted to add that, do a couple of mirror exercises really work. You remember who you are, get in front of that mirror and ask the questions that you don't want to ask. Like she said, Lemuria, you can find out for yourself. You can say, okay, where was I in Lemuria? You'll be shocked what comes out when you're looking at yourself in that mirror. So that's my advice.
Great, thanks, RaShar. All right, we've got Valerie, and then the River Witch Fairy is up next.
Yeah, hi, Jonah. Thanks for your question, and thanks for being so open to hearing everything. I just had a couple of things to say. One thing popped right up for me is you said about wanting to reach enlightenment or reaching for enlightenment. And I used to have a teacher who would say enlightenment means putting your consciousness on lighter things. And that was kind of all it means, which I really like that. I really like very simple things like that. And also another, one of my writing teachers says that a revolution is a quarter turn. So if you think about that, you think about where your focus is, where you're feeling, and then you go, oh, I can remember myself different. I can remember myself new, put myself in another way. But I had this image that was just running through my body like crazy. And as Galactic was speaking, it got really enhanced. And then RaShar, and so I don't know if Laureli, if you want to put that crop circle back up, but I saw that crop. At first I saw you putting a pyramid that points up from here up. And then I saw you like sitting on the ground and with a pyramid around you, just to like imagine and feel this. But then especially as Ashley was speaking, I saw the sun in your center, and then the bottom pyramid pointing down and the other pyramid pointing up, just like that crop circle. And it felt like we, if you see this, I think it might be even one lower than that. Right there, you can see more of that circle, but I saw that circle as your central sun. Yeah, actually I was seeing it the opposite though, where the pyramid points up from your chest up and then your waist down into the earth, and just seemed like a really important image to share with you. That's all I got.
Great. Thanks so much, Val. All right, let me get Rina-fay up here. I don't usually just jump in and interrupt with like a crop circle that someone posted in the chat. So yeah, there's the reason why I did it. It's great.
Well worth it. Well worth it. Hi, Jonah. How are you?
Good in many ways.
Wonderful. So, I can see that, I think that there's been women who have served as distractions for you in your life in not so positive ways, even though they shine very brightly, okay? And the Fae have been saying to me that there's been a lot of diversion on your path, so much diversion. And then I see these women coming forth, right? And what I want you to know, Jonah, is that sometimes, or actually a lot of times, okay, as far as personal relationships go, these relationships have not always been like open paths to involvement, but rather they are serving as catalysts to inspire you on your personal growth, okay? So sometimes the people who show up as catalysts for our personal growth in our life, we get so deeply embedded into the connection because it's so strong, and then we totally lose our own self-growth, okay? Our sense of self-worth. Does that make sense?
It does. I haven't had very long relationships. I don't know if it's ones that I've been involved in, or just people that I've been infatuated with, or I don't know what it's
kind of all of that, but especially where the infatuation and the attraction is, right? Those are catalysts for growth. And sometimes we kind of lose that sense of where our personal growth is because we get so deeply embedded into the attraction. And I drew a card for you, Jonah. The card I drew was experiments, and this is about manipulation. Okay. So it's manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty in the pursuit of knowledge, and arrogance. Don't be scared. This is not of course, none of this stuff is meant to be negative and dark, but really just point out where it is that we need to somebody said remember, someone said remember, and I was just about to say that, and something clicked as I'm saying remember right now. Remember the journey of your soul, and remember to dive deeply and invest in your self-growth. Don't be afraid to take a deep skinny dipping dive into the shadow aspects of yourself, because there's a lot that's waiting there that hasn't been faced yet. Okay. And again, big catalyst in many lives, in this life, has been the personal, yes, like you said, infatuations and attractions and relationships with other people, especially women. And so what they're really doing is how these have gone and the feelings that they've erupted in you, whether those are complication or rejection or the feeling of inadequacy, they have mirrored things to you that you need to be aware of and you need to look deeper into to solve in your healing. Okay. And so the Fae were really like, diversion. There's a lot of diversion, wanting to just skip over all of that and go straight to enlightenment and take this deep dive journey into whatever enlightenment is, right? Because we all want to find enlightenment. We all want to know what enlightenment is. You know what? Maybe none of us really know truly what enlightenment is. We only truly connect enlightenment to be the journey of us seeking it out, right? So that's what they want you to remember. They want you to remember diving deeply into these shadow aspects, not being afraid of them. My fairy Ama for short, her name is Amethyst, but she recommended going on a vision quest. And I feel like you might have already done that, but she said you need to go on a vision quest for at least 3 days where you're not distracted by anybody else and you can just be by yourself and within yourself without the distraction of technology and other people and things like that. So I'm going to leave you with that, Jonah. And yeah, blessings to you on your journey. It's so exciting.
Thank you, Rina-fay. So I just have something that's arising. I don't know. Like I imagine that as there's a way that you're seeking outside of yourself and seeking that the answer is out here somewhere in a way that's not of service to you. Like you need to learn more or like have exposure and experience to this thing or connect with this person, kind of a little in line of what Rina-fay was saying, but that it seems like the thing for you to do is to settle into it's all here. Everything I need is right here. Right. And let your energy be a bit more in the flow of in here. Right. In your experience of everything that's here inside of you. It's not that you can't ever go exploring in other things, but just more of the space that's in here. Right? Connection and appreciation of what's here. Like what if everything that I need is right here. So that's what comes through for me. Anyone have anything else to share with Jonah? All right, great. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
One thing. So I'm so hung up on the Wizard of Oz stuff these days, but I'm just thinking of the Cowardly Lion, you know, just as a character, and that he was searching for his courage all over Oz, and the wizard said, "Look, you had it all along." That it was inside. So thanks, Jonah, for asking your question.
And I think RaShar said something. RaShar, do you want to say, yeah, RaShar said something that we did in the chat too. Yeah.
I had just put that in the chat. I was like, well, Glenda the Good Witch said, she looked down at her feet and she said, you had the answer all along. People are constantly looking outside of themselves for love, for support, to be complete. When you already have source, you're walking around with source. You just need to remember and awaken to it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jonah, for getting us started today. Is there just anything you want to share just in your experience right now of just all that we've shared with you? How are you impacted?
It's still it's probably good information. And I'm wondering about the shadow work in particular. I've gotten that message before to do shadow work, and sometimes I try to like solve my problems, or it's tricky to know how to deal with shadow work. Maybe that's a whole other question in and of itself, but um, that that seems like a key piece, is whatever that I'm not seeing or not looking at, or yeah, I'm not too sure what to say. I didn't have big downloads or big things, but it all kind of makes sense. And then it all kind of, I'm not too sure what to do with it at the same time just
Great.
yet.
And practitioners, just be brief. We've got at least 2 more people in line. So, RaShar, did you want to say something? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it sounds like you're saying dark night of the soul. Believe me, when you need to do your shadow work, it'll come up. And it does not have a timetable, and it's not one time. As you elevate and people think, oh, I'm gonna get to this level and then I won't. No, that's the whole part of the human experience, is to level and level. And once this body, we get out of this body, we still go on. You know, the energy never dies. So as far as doing shadow work, yeah, you can work on aspects of your shadow and then embracing it, because you need both for balance, because we're in the duality world. But as far as that's concerned, you know, that's what I do. And I'll tell you that you will know when you need to get it done. You don't have to seek it out.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jonah.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for all the answers.
You're very welcome. All right. Yeah, shadow work would be a great topic for a panel. I agree. So we'll get that one scheduled. All right. Shadow
Right
play.
on.
Yep. All right. Misha is next. Oh, here you are. All right, great. Great. Yeah.
Hi. So I feel like, I feel like I've been doing a lot of work and shadow work over the last couple of years, and this definitely brought me around, and I'm here in the middle of the crap all over again. But I'm trying to figure out what my higher purpose or spiritual superpowers, whatever you want to call them, are, and what's holding me back, and how do I overcome? Just little things.
All right, great. Now I'm writing down notes on your questions. I don't know what all the feedback was, but okay, great. So practitioners, yeah. Whoever is ready, we will get started.
Misha,
Right,
can you repeat the question?
Sure. I'm trying to figure out basically, what my higher purpose or higher or spiritual superpower, whatever you want to call them, are, and what's holding me back from them, and how do I overcome what's holding me back. I've been told I have everything I need. Okay, I don't know what it is I need, number one, and I don't know how to access, all the things. So does that make it clear?
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And for those of you that can see in the doc, I've got the notes in there too. All right, great. RaShar, yeah, go ahead. Just if you can keep your answer to about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Looking at you, looks like you're in the middle, dab smack in the middle of a dark night of the soul right now. So trying to find your purpose at this moment is going to be very foggy for you. Right now, you're dealing with all aspects of self, and not only from this life, from past lives. you're having a huge dark night of the soul, which means your purpose will be very clear once you get out of it. Now, my advice to you in a dark night of the soul, you know, people are like, oh, it's so horrible. Actually, it's not. You have good moments, you have bad moments, you have good memories, you have bad memories. But right now, as I look at you, I do see some of your past life things, and it's just you're dealing with old wounds from different incarnations right now. It really has nothing to do with this life. You haven't even dealt with that stuff for this life yet, looks like.
Oh, great.
Oh, it's not, you hardly have anything in this life. Once you get through all those incarnations, it's about 2 or 3 that I'm looking at that's really affecting you. And all it is, and I tell this to people, it's a choice. It's a choice in how you want to look at it, how you change your perspective. And right now, you're just, all of your old dark is coming up right now. It really is. And my advice to you, before you want to know your purpose and decide, because you're going to be a whole nother person by the time you come out the end of this one. You're going to be a whole nother being. You're going to remember all of your abilities. You're going to be a lot stronger, because I tell people all the time, they want to get to the light, but they don't realize in order for you to get to the light, you have to be buried first. How do you grow? You go under the dirt and you come through. So you're about
I
to break
totally
the plane.
feel that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're about to break the plane. You've been through the ugly already. I'm looking at you. You've been through it. So you're about to come out the plane, and you will know your purpose like that.
Okay.
If you need some guidance, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of us that could help you with that. But honestly, I like to, like, people are like, oh, you'll help me. No, you already know. I'm just helping you remember and letting you tell me where you need to go and what you need to work on. So that's what I see when I look at you. I feel like you're a teacher, actually. I feel like you're a teacher. And it's like, it's going to be through your life experiences and things that you've been through in your other incarnations. That's what it looks like to me. So that I feel like you're just going through it and you're almost out. It's a light there. Look at the light. But I did see where you went through it. Like,
it's interesting because before I had to retire, I actually was a teacher in the physical plane, and I'm a 3rd generation teacher in the physical plane. So
that makes sense. Yeah. So that's what I mean. I'm like, I could feel it coming out. I'm like, she's about to get out. She's almost out. You're almost out.
Oh, it's been a long time. Yeah.
It's been a long time for you. You went through a doozy. But yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you breaking through finally. But that's why when I looked at you, I was like, yeah, it's not that you wanted to hear what you already knew. You're definitely there. And as soon as you come out, whatever makes your heart like fly is going to be the direction you go in. You have a lot of abilities. It just depends on what you want to do with it. But my advice is not to follow that at this time. I feel like you need to heal some more, and you need to deal with old thought processes. It looks like you have a lot of thought processes that you can stop. And people laugh at me when I say, hey, when that thought comes out, I literally tell myself, that's not me. Hush, that's not me. And you can literally do that and replace it with what you are aspiring to be, not what you used to. Don't look back. Stop looking in your back view mirror.
I actually have a post-it on my mirror that says you can't move forward by looking back.
No, you're going to crash into something. You can't keep doing this.
Yeah, and I've had it on my mirror for months.
And people, and people don't understand. Like, I do hypnotherapy too. People don't understand. When you do that, you are traumatizing your body all over again. Your body's going through it all over again. You're making it fresh. Like, people like, oh, I'm telling my testimony. No, honey, I will tell you one time. It is not for you to relive it and relive it and relive it. That is traumatizing your energy. And you've learned the lessons. Don't repeat them. Just let it stay back there. Thank the lesson, keep it moving, and go forward. That's my advice.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rina-fay.
Okay, my sweet. This will just be quick. And I'm just trying. Oh, there you are. So I looking at you, and as I see you in my view, it's very interesting. Right on with RaShar. Yes. Very much going into a dark night of the soul. I can feel that. I can actually see that. It's like the earth beneath your feet, okay? Because I'm literally seeing you, and I see you in between, and it's so cool, right? What you're sitting behind, these 3 paintings, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you're so you're sort of in the middle, but not quite. And this is cool. I didn't see the top before. I just saw the bottom half. So you're sort of in the middle, but not quite. It's like you're going into the second phase, and it feels to me like you're coming out of earth. And so it's like the earth, the ground beneath your feet has been totally ripped out from under you, totally shaken up, right? Things have been quiet, calm, committed, consistent, and now we're dealing with the things and starting to come face to face with the things that we really haven't emotionally dealt with. And for some reason, she said this is water that you're moving into, the element of water, which is emotions. It's the forces of the heart, the forces of the deep, deep subconscious, and they can be very, very heavy, and they are very much an integral part of the dark night of the soul, right? Gosh, somebody said in the chat earlier, oh, I feel like we should do a theme later on shadow work. Geez, that is really coming up tonight. Shadow work is an integral part of dark night of the soul. So you really are moving into a more emotional phase of yourself. There's things coming up and things that are rising like to the surface inside you that kind of change your emotional wiring, that might seem a little bit unrecognizable, and they don't really make sense in the way of how you were able to deal with things before, or rather compartmentalize things before. Things are changing. They're feeling heavier. And so as I see you not being quite yet in that middle part, right in the heart of water, it's more like you're coming into it. Okay. So this is going to be going on for a little while. And then after, I look to your right, and I see this flame right behind you. When this is over, you are going into the flames. Everything will be burnt. Everything will be ignited. Creation, passion that comes from your heart. But right now, you're just moving into the phase where what's starting to come into your heart and what you start to really connect with your heart space, your soul, is a little bit, surprising or a little bit different. And so you're going to be getting really acquainted with that part of yourself, that water element within. Check out, Misha, where your moon is in your natal chart. I want you to really pay special attention.
I'm a Leo. My moon is in Leo.
Your moon is in
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes, sister. We are moving into the Lion's Gate. And it's no wonder that you feel so heavy right now. Your moon, literally your heart, is sitting in Leo energy, and we're moving into the Lion's Gate portal, right? Right into the heart of Leo season. You are moving into that fire. You're not quite there yet, but it's coming. Right now, you're moving through the emotional part, the shadow work part, the dark night of the soul, just like she said before. And it's intense. And it's unclear, and it's like kind of like treading through mud, right? So just understand that this is your portal. This is your gateway right now to that fire, okay? To the true integral energy of the Lion's Gate. But it's moving you through some shit first, okay? The mud. And things are really unclear, and they're very heavy. So allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to drown in the depths on some nights, if that's what it feels like, because it's going to. The old part of you is dying. That Earth. Okay, I just watched a documentary on mycelium. Mycelium is literally, it is the portal of death and birth at the same time. It does both. So your mycelium is dying and it's being literally eaten away to be rebirthed into something else. And you're going to be moving into fire. I want to say within the next 6 months, you'll be closer onto that fire side, where it will be more about creating and invigorating and really getting things started based on what your soul's calling to you. That's what I have for you.
Thanks so much, Rina-fay.
Thank you so much.
All right, Val.
You all, I have a lot of joy listening to you all do your channeling stuff. Hi, Misha. Hey, thanks for asking. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, those pictures behind you, when you first showed up, I could just see so much fire. So talking about the sun energy makes sense. It's funny, I'm not always comfortable like digging in and channeling in this way to people. You know, it feels not quite totally comfortable for me. But what I really feel with you is to work with a shamanic practitioner, and I see to do some soul retrieval work. I get the sense that your joy and that your child selves are split off from a long time ago, and they carry your joy and your essence and your exuberance. And as you remember, and I wrote remember, it's been such a big word today, remember, reintegrate, welcome back her joy, fill in those holes. It'll lift your bottom, and you won't even find that bottom anymore. You won't fall in so deep. But that not knowing your innocence, joy, that childlike self is our superpower. It is such an important superpower. We have all collectively lost our innocence. We've collectively been through just awful traumas in the last several years, but we've collectively lost our innocence. And with your innocence is the joy. But your child's, I see her in the woods having a little tea party with some little stuffed animals and rabbits and other friends. And she would love to come home anytime, but she's keeping it safe for you and alive. And yeah, so you can take a walk and kind of greet her and imagine that you're talking to her and your other friends that you knew as a child. Start inviting her in, and then maybe do some shamanic work and really fill yourself with that. And I think you'll know a lot more what your passion is.
But it's interesting because after I paid and then I was listening to Jonah, I just had an epiphany that, my mom and dad couldn't give me the affirmation and approval of my worth that I craved as a child, because they were so busy seeking the approval of themselves for themselves that they didn't get in their own childhoods. And I've done a lot of inner child work just to even get to the point where I'm at now over the last couple of years since the deaths of my parents. But that just came to me earlier this evening as I was kind of listening and absorbing everything else. And I was like, and because I always felt like it, because they were such humongous strivers and hugely high achievers, that there's no way I could have achieved to the level. That does not mean I won't achieve to my own highest level, equal or different from theirs. However, it's difficult to see as a child.
Yes. Well, you kept our children are brilliant, and they go to some safe places. They split and they go, and they just wait for us. they're very much there for us still. So
Thank you.
bravo.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks, Valerie. Right. So I just have a little bit to share too. So yeah, how do I, there we go. Lower my own hand. Oh, so what I see in your eyes, one of the traits that you have is called scholar. It's about absorbing information to build knowledge and share knowledge. So you want to know. Mhm. And then I don't know if it's yours in particular, but you may also have the talent that's called priest or priestess. It's about inspiration, vision, passion, motivation, right? It's about seeing what's here, and not only what's here, it's about seeing what could be and wanting to inspire and motivate, right? Stretching and reaching to that potential. And they have lessons. And well, we're in the middle of the lessons of our talents. And so part of what I hear your scholars saying is, I want to know, I want to know. And priestess has some intensity, a very like a lot of emotional expression about it. And the priestess gets in the, it should be, I should be able to know, I should be able to get there. So you have some intensity and some shoulding and some scholar insistence on, I want to know, I need to know the path. Right. And great. I love that you're laughing. And so it's exactly those things that are the things in the way. Right. The lessons of priestess is to lose attachment to the potential and to trust the journey and the process and the timing. And the journey of the scholar is to not know, to be an intuitive knower. So you have to be in a space of not knowing to be intuitive.
Oof. And that's difficult for me as a sun sign Taurus to be in the space of not knowing.
Everyone with scholar has this challenge that the magic is to actually not know and to trust that you know, and that you know when you don't know, that the knowing arrives just as you need it. So I think of it like the Chinese finger puzzle, the Chinese finger puzzle, right? If you try to pull out of it, it gets stuck and you can't get, same thing. You're trying to grasp and get there. Like in some ways, it's like, it's the last thing you can ever get to. So it's letting go of it is how things show up. Right? Relaxing into that, this is the way it is, right? It's perfect the way it is. Yeah, so particularly the intent. Oh, and I wrote down anger. So like anger, aggression, that like, it should be different. And I have to know. And those are the two kinds of phrases that when you get in that energy, those are the things that get in your way. I have the scholar.
It's like, I want to know, I need to learn more about this. I need to learn more about this because otherwise I can't make it be good enough to put out there or whatever.
And scholars are powerful knowers when it's messy. When they don't know, that's how the knowing appears. And then again, though, as soon as you think you've got it concrete and you know it, then you're not in the rich part of the unknowing and the mystery anymore. So it's this endless unknowing. So getting comfortable in the not knowing.
Okay, get comfortable in the not knowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, great. And some more nodding is happening too. Galactic Ashley's up, and then Susy.
So I can lower my hand. Oh, oops, sorry, I just raised it. So you don't have any excuses. I have 5 signs in Taurus, and it's if I can fall in love with the unknowing, you can too, because that is part of what we're being asked to do, and the way in which we actually co-create and become more efficient is by bringing joy into the process. So rather than looking at the whole thing, is to just find joy in the moment of the things that you choose to do based on inspired, or what I call inspirited action. So this would be in your not doing, when you are in a space of being. When you receive guidance, then you act on that guidance. And that is what I call inspirited action. And usually when we receive guidance like that, it comes with energy behind it that gives us sort of the oomph to want to take the action. Otherwise, they're just sort of ideations or thoughts that are coming through. But when one really has that source frequency wrapped on it that is for you, it will meet the desire that you have set out into the quantum field, and it has come back to you, right? So what I'm getting for you right now is that your true self, passion, motivation, and purpose will be shown to you, but what you're being asked to do right now is to do nothing. But in that nothingness, what you're really being asked to do is to practice what the beings call divine neutrality. So it's being able to practice non-attachment. And so non-attachment is, if I show you this little booklet, or here, this little wand thing, right? And I say, like, do you want this? And if you can't have this, then it's the end of the world. And you're like, well, I don't want that. That doesn't really mean anything to me, right? And so that is what it means to not have attachment to something, which means that I cannot use this to have authority over you. So when we practice non-attachment, it means that we are holding our power and we don't attach to something, because the moment we attach to something, we give something outside of ourselves authority. And then we've lost our power. So it's like you're being asked to have, like, to be able to shift and to observe what's happening around you without categorizing it or assigning it or labeling it, making it good or making it bad. And I know that a lot of people talked about Dark Night of the Soul. I'm actually not into that label, because I think it means something entirely different that I'm not so sure necessarily exists here. But what I wouldn't want, and I'm not saying that you're not having a challenging time and that you haven't opened Pandora's box and all this stuff hasn't come up, but for me, in order to experience divine, to experience the dark night of the soul, you have to have experienced a very long period of time of divine bliss. And I'm not sure that a lot of us have the bodies to be able to have that. So that is just me. But I don't want you to get stuck in that, because sometimes people will attach to that story of this this dark part of themselves, or the shadow stuff, because what we have to do is that we are really being asked to forgive ourselves, right? So the moment that you judge yourself, is that coming from you, or is it the parent, preacher, or the teacher? And have you given your authority to those things? And can you free yourself and just say, like, I love you and I forgive you, and I am sorry for allowing myself to feel this way, and I forgive myself, and just to release that and practice that, because our gifts and our abilities to bring our soul purpose through us into this plane, and our ability to heal others, are very much a part of our ability to love ourselves and to give love to others. So the greater capacity that we have to give and receive love is the greater capacity that we have to heal and to remember and to bring our gifts through. So this is a really amazing time for you. It's a time for you to observe, to shift to all of these different planes of perspectives that you can take, that you can look, and that you can witness yourself and just be like, huh, that's interesting. I wonder if, and then these types of soul inquiry, it really starts our relationship, and we develop an intimacy with the divine, and we are able to have these really deep conversations with the universe.
Okay, no, that makes complete sense. And I have definitely tried to sever, I guess, I don't know whether it's sever my ties with other people who might think they have authority, or there might become, I don't know, some messages or whatever that get crossed in my mind that, there should be some authority or whatever there. So yeah, I like the sitting in non-judgment and just it is. I hate that saying it is what it is, but yeah,
Right.
it just is. We'll just stop it there. It just is.
Yeah,
The hard part about about forgiveness in general is it's something we can't talk ourselves into. We can't talk ourselves into forgiving someone or to forgiving ourselves. Like it is a divine infusion or divine action, or it's when divinity comes into us. There are no words for it. Our heart opens, and it's an experience that we have in our heart. We cannot mentalize it. We cannot, I mean, you can invite it in and you can say, help me, and you can intend for that, but it's not something we can talk ourselves into. Otherwise, we're like lying to this piece of ourselves. So I think that you're doing an amazing job. And I'm actually really excited for you. I don't think this is going to last that long. I feel like you're going to start shifting perspectives, and then like something is going to click. I would even say by the Lion's Gate, and it's going to make sense. And then you're going to go, oh, and then this is going to go, and it's going to go really quickly. And then all
I'm
of a sudden
excited
you're going
for
to be
that.
back here, and you're going to be like, I don't know what to do with all of this information.
I'll be sitting over there under the fire with my head going, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Galactic Ashley. All right, Susie.
Hey, Misha. For all of this stuff you're talking about having done, I am excuse me. That was attractive. I am so impressed and very pleased, and well done to you in all of this. You said that you did a whole lot of inner child work, and it was to work through parental issues. Have you played with your inner child yet? Have you said, look and see what this groovy thing is? This is called an energy orb. And do the things with it. She doesn't remember how to play.
No, she didn't play a whole lot as a child. So no, I guess I need to bring her in and have her play with me when I dance around with the dog or things like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Have her play with you. Inner children, in the experience I've had with other clients, is that they say things like, "Oh, I totally just brain farted about what I was going to say about that. You're never mind. Guess that wasn't
Welcome to my
important.
world.
Yeah, brain cramp. So playing with the inner child, showing her, this is what I learned today. Let me show you this. And I think she would be particularly enchanted with energy balls. When I started to learn energy orbs, when I started to learn how to make them, you envision a ball in your hand and you fill it with energy. And then, oh, look, that's full. No, it's not. You can put more energy into it and more and more. And then you can release it and have it go to heal someone. You ask if you can send it to someone in particular, see if it resonates with them. But I got to where I was on these healing lists and sending out energy orbs, like I was blowing them through one of those bubble wands, and they would just come through and do that. And allow her to play in it. There's no straight line thing. I know as a teacher, you had a curriculum you needed to follow. And we went to alternative ed, so it was like, okay, whatever we want to do, it's still learning. So the child is going to want to roll around in all of this and play with it. Let her play with it and take your cue from her. And then forgiveness. I have a different take on forgiveness. I believe that when one forgives, it's not condoning another person's behavior, but it is reclaiming your energy from them. And so you're talking about these people who think they have authority over you. Go to your sacred space, whether it's a pyramid or your energy orb or whatever it is, and set the energy of that person in front of you. And you say, I would like my energy back. You can demand it. You can ask for it. don't wheedle, but just, I want my energy back. Oh yeah, here's this chunk of energy of mine that's been embedded in me, and it's yours. Take it back. And you exchange that energy to help refill and fill in these spots that these people who think they have control over you. It's like, no, you don't. So that's part of that non-attachment thing. I am not connected to you energetically, and you have it. Energy cord cutting comes into mind too. I'm looking at my other notes. And then for all of the things you've learned, apply them. That's where that play with the inner child is. I've learned this, apply the knowledge, and that's what helps it to embed more into your energy. And so all of this stuff, what is it I'm saying? So not only energy orbs, there is a lot of energy work you can do. Hands. Do you do Reiki?
I've been trained in Reiki. I haven't really practiced it.
Play with it.
Okay.
Reikify your food, do your water. Next time you pay bills, Reikify the pen and the paper and the money. Just play with it, because this is not energy coming from you. This is your energy that you're calling energy from source to feed out and bless everything you do. And that lightens it, and that's going to give you, I feel, an opportunity to play. I sing stupid songs when I'm paying my bills, and just enjoy it. And that's going to help you apply all of this stuff and integrate that energy. So thank you.
Thank you. I love that.
Yeah, that's great. I particularly just the word play. That's really the antidote for all the lessons that I are the key. Yeah. All right. And Rina-fay, something else, and please, just if you could be brief. We've got one more question. Go ahead.
I'll be really brief. I swear to God, I'm sure you guys could all see me just smirking like I'm bursting at the seams with laughter from some of the comments, and I have been. Me and my fairies, we love Galactic, Ashley, and just some of the comments that were in the conversation. I had so many funny things that came up. First of all, I had to call Galactic Ashley out because she said that she feels if we are going to experience a dark night of the soul, that we need to experience intense periods of bliss first. And my fairies were just urging me to say, Galactic Ashley, you don't know what intense periods of bliss I experience. You don't hang out with me and my twin flame at night. And then we were talking about Taurus, right? And Misha was saying about how in the Taurus energy, we are so triggered by the unknown. And Galactic Ashley's like, I have 5 planets in Taurus. And I'm going, oh my God, I just have all these alarms going off right now that say triggered in the unknown, right? It's so difficult when you're that grounded. And I understand that I'm a double Venus. So I'm not a double Taurus, but Taurus is ruled by Venus, and I'm a double Venus because I'm a Taurus and a Libra rising. So I'm always weighing out the pros and cons and trying to stay grounded and make the right organized decisions. And the unknown is really scary. I understand that. And I think that what's really gotten me out of that comfort zone and into the belief, the part of the part of your life where things are unknown and you're in transition and you want and desire to move into something new is your faith and your ultimate belief, and focusing and diving into that, whatever it is, as long as it's positive and as long as it's potent in your growth. You diving into your faith and belief in yourself with whatever it is that you're going to do. And you dive head first into it, sweet sister. Head first. Give it your all. And push out all the other distractions. That is where Taurus thrives in the unknown. Faith. Okay? And Galactic Ashley, I know intense periods of bliss, sweet sister. I love you.
Thank you. That's, yeah, dive headfirst into my faith. Thank you. Yeah, No.
Great, great. Well, thank you so much, Misha. It's been great answering your questions.
Yes,
Big
thank you very
question and your
much.
questions. You are welcome. All right. We've got someone else in line, and it is Abigail. Bring you up here, Abigail. I loved your tender. Maybe I have a question. What you wrote was great. All right. Let's get you unmuted. And then what is your question?
Well, I really like what everybody's been saying so far. I'm kind of new to all of this, but I guess I have been like self-exploring for a couple years now. Kind of gotten a pretty bad place for relationship and work, and I've been, I guess I don't know if this is the right place to ask, but I just have been having a hard time with letting people in all the way, and I feel like it has to do a lot with having a lot of judgment towards other people and myself. And I use marijuana every night. I have a problem with that, and I feel like I'm getting so close to being able to cut that out of my life, but something always happens where it comes back in. And I just was wondering if you guys had any ideas about a turning point with what comes with Lion's Gate and activating courage. Yeah.
You're beautiful to bring up courage. Oh, all right. Let's see, I'm just going to share a little bit first. So in your eyes, so your second talent in particular is called Priest or Priestess. It's about emotions. It's about inspiration, vision, passion, motivation. I shared about it with Misha, that you have it in a different order. So it has a really different impact. So you see not only what's here, you see what's possible, but you direct it inwards. So inside, tell me if I'm right, you have a tendency to say, I need to grow, I need to do better, I need to do more. And how could I have not done that right? And blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So having the second is this big lesson of directing it inwards and learning to speak to yourself as optimistically and encouragingly as you do to others. So you feel it so much more deeply than other people. You tend to take on your part so much more. You probably, you might have artisan, priest, priestess, and scholar. So you might be really environmentally sensitive, energetically sensitive. You're probably super intuitive and empathic. And you see, so part of the struggles with this is you see the potential in the situation or the person, and you can engage them there and not track that they're actually here. Right. And do so much work to help them get here. And you're not putting that love and that energy into you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's
I can feel that a lot. I don't know if this is anything, but I do the Willamette Weekly, and the horoscope is always, oh God, I just lost it.
It's okay, don't worry.
Just talking about what you were just saying, I guess.
Yeah. But so it's the care that you give to others, how you so know they have this goodness inside, right? It's to just keep practicing turning that in, right? And turning that in. Right. So just,
I guess it's like, what is self-care? Like, it never feels good enough, maybe.
Well, pre-second, like it's going to never feel good enough until you're like really fully conscious. You're never going to feel good. Like you're going to always see that there's more you could do. And the journey is to celebrate the progress you've made. So you can do that. That's a good thing, right? There are lots of things that you have figured out and you have changed and you have improved. Yeah. You've moved away from some of those other people in whatever way that happened. You don't think about them as often. You think about positive things. You bring hope to situations. I'm making, like, these are things that I know you must have been doing to get here. You're here tonight. You chose to be in a space with people with wonderful energy, like just everyone here.
Yeah, this is wild. I haven't done anything like this ever.
Yeah. And then part of what we do with our events, a lot of people come in for the first time. So you found your way here. Yeah. Just so you know that
Thank you.
you can sense the goodness in everyone. Anyone that you look at, you always can sense the goodness in them, right?
I'd say I hope so.
Or maybe just about everyone. I think you're naturally good at that. So remember, keep turning that in and know that there's this goodness in you too.
Yeah.
That's self-love. Think about the times when you know you've done things that are good in the world. You know, just being there, you're a person who's good. You have good intentions. I know you've made good contributions. It's bringing those things to mind, letting yourself be with those, and knowing that it's a journey. You don't have to be perfect right now. And that's a lifelong lesson with the set that you've got. All right, let me get myself off the center and bring some others up. We've got Susie, the River Witch Fairy, Galactic Ashley, and then Valerie, and everyone. We've got 23 minutes really till our formal closing. So please, like, keep everything to 3 minutes. I may jump in and help interrupt us to help us bring to a close quicker. All right, Susie, come on in.
My frame keeps shifting. I'm trying to unmute. So, okay. So I've got Dragon feeling very strongly coming through, but then Kuan Yin saying, no, be gentle. But Dragon says, there are no mistakes. This is your journey. You are learning, and what you learn in this time in your life is going to come forward and be the lessons you can show others. You have had lifetimes in which you were battered and kept down, and that's carrying forward here. And then Kuan Yin comes forward and says, be kind to yourself. You understand where you want to be and yet don't appreciate where you are now. You are learning. You are still drawing in the information. And as we said to the one before, apply your learnings. You are open to this. So open your heart not only to us out here, but to yourself. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
So Dragon, let's go back to him. Dragon is asking you to stand in your power. Yes, you don't know what your power is, but you are developing. And as you clear out these things that you perceive as blockages, Dragon sees them as lessons for you to come forward to dig through. He's like showing me that you're just clearing all of this stuff away. Honestly, the pot's not necessarily a big problem. This is just a symptom. And looking at yourself deeper, taking that time. It's not so, yeah, there's a little inner child work to be done, but there's also this looking at yourself from past lives. So let's go back, harken back to those lifetimes in which you were beaten and enslaved and told you weren't good enough. They come forward and they said, we're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. They just keep saying we're sorry. So send them that love and do the exchange of energy so their energy can return to them that feeling of inadequacy, that feeling of not knowing enough, of not being good enough. And you send that energy back to them. And then that energy, those spaces are now, with your permission, filled in with source, understanding that you are part of a divine collective here, and you are, in essence, the eyes of God. Your physical experience is going to go back to the collective when you shed this mortal coil, and you're going to share your experiences with the divine. You are seeing with the eyes of God. When you judge yourself and others, you are seeing with the eyes of man. Recognizing your divinity, recognizing the dragon. He's saying, yeah, I've got dragon too. So recognizing that you have this power. Right now it's a small, throw some of those energy orbs at yourself that we talked about and allow yourself to accept. Does that make sense? Okay.
I guess so. I guess a lot of this is kind of going over my head a little bit, but I can understand what you're saying when, I guess, especially when you're talking about past lives being inside. Like, I feel like that
Kind of pick at it,
scared,
like you can kind of
battered.
pick at it like a piece of thread
Yeah,
that's hanging off of something. Pick at that, you know, and just look at it and go, okay, fine. When you have those thoughts that are judging you or something else, just, oh my, aren't you interesting? And allow it to flow. It's that dwelling in it that
yeah,
is a reasonable shift to ask for. So, my, isn't that interesting?
yeah.
Okay. So,
Thank
thanks.
you. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, Susie. And yeah, that's a great reminder for all of us as we share too, right? That this is your first time in anything like this. Right, go ahead, Rina-fay.
Abigail, oh, I'm so excited that you asked a question because I wanted to talk with you. Oh my goodness. From the second that I saw your face, it was you and actually one other person tonight that I really wanted to speak with. And I was like, oh God, please just let them, or at least one of them, ask a question so I can have this platform, because I recognize you on a fairy level. And I was just so excited to, and that doesn't happen for me. That really doesn't happen for me very often. So I'm so happy to be able to speak with you and address you. And I have to tell you that I sense that where you're at right now, even in this Lionsgate portal, is a very quiet place, and things are moving. I mean, as far as spiritually concerned, things are very subtle right now, and I feel that. It's like it's kind of like how the roots of a flower really start to take hold before the flower even reaches the surface of the ground. That's what I was feeling and seeing. And I'm a flower fairy, so I don't know why they're showing me that, but I think, I know you and I are very closely related. I think that we've been in the realm together before. So I think you probably really relate well to flowers. Okay. Like I do.
I love flowers.
Yeah, well, I mean, who doesn't love flowers? But this is just a little bit deeper with flowers than the norm. And you're so beautiful. I have so much infinite love for you. This is really cool for me, because this is kind of like the bread and butter of me being able to do these panels, is when I see someone come on the panel that has this spark, and it makes it even better that you don't really know. Okay, that's amazing, because I've been screaming the entire time I saw you, and I drew a card for you, Abigail. The card that I drew for you is her special place. And I'll let you look at that really well. And this is about finding your own safe space inside, within, and without, in the world, outside. And like I said, right now it's like just a budding spark beneath the surface. And so, because I connect with you on such a deep level, what I'm going to advise you to do is connect and look into communicating with the Fae. Look into communicating with the trees and leaving offerings for your spirits outside. Hug a tree, Abigail. Please hug the trees. Sing to the trees. I don't know if you sing, but I feel like your voice inside, whether it's a singing voice or what you have to offer, is so beautiful. And it's like this hidden gem, right? That hasn't, again, come to the surface yet for the world to truly enjoy and experience. And you are such an integral part of this natural world and the wisdom that it has to offer the people, right? Because the people are in dire need of the Fae's wisdom right now in how to protect and care for our planet, especially in a time where they're being very ignorant and they're not taking so much care of the planet, therefore not taking care of themselves. But you have a lot of wisdom and you have an integral part in that place. You also have a lot of Virgo in your chart. I've never seen your chart and I don't know what your date of birth is, but you have a lot of Virgo energy. And that Virgo energy is really, it can be very self-critical of yourself, okay, and very unsure. But at the same time, wanting to be organized and wanting to be on the right track and wanting to do and take all of the steps methodically that it can to be there, even if that's unclear. And so, you know, with this card that I drew for you, Abigail, her special place, this is, you're beautiful. Lorelei just said that you're a Cancer sun. I'm so not surprised that you're a Cancer sun, right? Everything is internalized.
And just Rina-fay, if you can pull it to a close soon.
I know. I was just so excited to talk to Abigail, so I'm just going to pull it to a close now. And I'm just going to leave you there. Oh my gosh. And I just love you so much.
Thank you.
I know I don't know you, but
Thank you so much. No, that it's nice to be told things that you feel similar to, and I can't say it with words on a deeper level than that, but I thank you.
And you do have beautiful energy. I've been noticing you here on the panel too. So before you came to the front. So yeah. Great. Galactic Ashley's next.
Yeah, and I would second that too. So the first thing really quickly, hopefully this helps, as this is what I came through. I still struggle with wanting to, I mean, I would love to be perfect. Woohoo, right? But it doesn't happen. But one of the things that the beings came in and told me was, because I actually really feel, whether you understand this or not at an intellectual level, I am getting that you are very, very connected, and you have a very high feeling level. You have and not just like empathy, but there are multiple layers of empathy. So in your empathy, you are able to read through inner vision, but it's really through your body complex, other lifetimes and other energies, and you can identify what's organic and inorganic, and those are important concepts, but we're gonna speed it along. So the first thing is that you have memories. You have these fractioned memories of other experiences that you've had that have been very sort of etheric and high vibrational. So what that means is, and this helped me, is that the beings basically said, look, you have retained memories from other places where perfection existed. And so we're here and we're using that as the template, but it's the wrong template. That template does not apply to this place.
Yeah.
And they were like, you can't, that's like, that is impossible. So stop it. You're meant to make mistakes and it's okay. But what happens when we make mistakes? And I just did it this week, and I actually like tortured myself. In my course, I didn't get something out on time, and it took me a while. And everybody forgave me, right? So that is the lesson, and that is ideal, right? So when you make a mistake that you perceive as a mistake, and then you criticize the crap out of yourself, and you're so upset, and it's like, oh, I'm such an idiot, or whatever, however you talk to yourself when that happens, and then the people around you support you, and they say it's okay, right? That means you're being witnessed, and then there's an external experience that's reminding you that it's okay, even if you know that it's okay. So that's You are allowed to make a mistake. Nobody expects you to be perfect. And the people that are criticizing you and have criticized you, they are truly criticizing themselves. But they can't do that because they do no wrong. So then they criticize everyone else around them. But that's not your energy and that's not you. So the thing that I was getting for you is that there was a set point in your life before the age of 10, because that's usually when they're set in, where you learned about the word relationship. And so relationship meant to you that you couldn't fully allow somebody in, because I don't know how your parents' life unfolded, but I might go in and sit there and ask, when did I learn about relationship? Because relationship defines, you define that, you apply it to everything: relationship with the body, relationship with humans, relationship with yourself, relationship with marijuana. And by the way, it's not the marijuana, it's the reasons that you use the marijuana, and it's all of these other things around it. It's not the marijuana itself. And what you judge about the marijuana is what you're saying to yourself. Yeah. So just let the marijuana go. It is marijuana. It is there. You are fine. Unless you're doing something that's extremely dangerous with it, like eating 10,000 cookies at night, and somehow, I don't know what you
guess.
do to try and like harm yourself, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So just let that go for right now, and it will heal itself. You are coming onto a light expansion, and I see that there is a being that is protecting you, because it's like a new level of light that you've accessed. So things might get kind of, I want to say, weird, like more multidimensional than you're used to. And so just allow that and know that you're safe and protected, and you're really being asked to look at healing these wounds, this set point with relationship, and spending some time kind of looking at these mirrors of yourself that are showing up, because you have an opportunity to heal, and you will heal very quickly. Okay.
Thank you.
It's Galactic Ashley. All right, Valerie.
Hi, Abigail. Hey, when you started to speak, what I experienced was quite a big block between your heart and throat, and the pot is helping keep that down. Like, I feel like you're just so on the verge of tears and you want to cry so hard that you're blocking it. It's just how it feels, and that the pot is stuffing it all back in. And what would you be open to letting me do a little clearing on you with my shamanic rattle, my turtle?
Yes,
is
please.
that okay with you?
Yes, please.
And I would say it'll clear, and we'll help that block and integrate some of the things you've heard and some of the things you've been going through. But I also want to let it say it to everybody else, to let it come in and clear you and integrate you too, if you'd like. You may not hear it, because sometimes you can't on Zoom, but it'll be there. So just. Here, let all that stuff go, girlfriend. Letting what's behind you be behind you and go, like with the wind, all the entanglements, all the attachments you think you need. Like a little Wizard of Oz flying through the air. I don't know. In your hands. Now this, your throat, your jaw. Being able to speak true. Letting your heart mend, feel its energy, and trust itself. How that moves and empowers your whole body and enlightens your whole self. Moving it through your belly, your gut, all the way down, connecting, feeling your feet on the earth. Ooh. Happy Lionsgate. Thank you, sister.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Valerie. I think we all got the benefits of
I was-
that. That was
I was
beautiful.
thinking there's been a lot said and we could all use a good integration and clearing. So thank you.
And your poetry too. It's great. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you so much. May I throw in another brief poem or are we past?
No, go ahead. It'll be part of the closing. Go ahead.
So this is a blessing poem for us all called Soar Ready, Soar Like a Bird. I had my feathers replaced today along my shoulders and the back of my neck. The old ones hardly catching the currents anymore. I'd forgotten to molt and hung on to everything I ever had. Today, I let go. Pluck the disheveled and replace them with the grand. Part angel, part great blue heron, and downy owl feathers along my spine. I don the talon feet of hawk, firm, relaxed, unfettered by storms. I see the moon different, shadows as friends. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Let's see. Just as we're finishing up, if there's anything anyone else wants to share with Abigail, and then we will close out and have all the practitioners share themselves. RaShar, you're still here. RaShar, come on up. I'll have you share first. You can come up. I just have to have your video. Anyone else? Yeah, anything else to share with Abigail? Yeah, thank you so much, Abigail, for wandering into new space, opening up and letting us share with you. RaShar, I know you're here. You might not be connected on your phone anymore. Well, let's see if RaShar comes back in. All right, practitioners. So thank you so much. Let's go around and maybe I'll just say before we finish up, we've got lots more events coming up. On Friday, we have a practice circle for strengthening your gifts, doing readings and healings with your peers. Sunday, August 8th on Lionsgate, we have a training panel. We have 5 practitioners. They're newer practitioners, newly sharing in the public, letting themselves be paid essentially, or letting people pay for their work, or new modalities they're opening to. That's Sunday. And we have another panel on witchcraft and alchemy on Friday the 13th, August 13th. We have a fair on August 15 and a learning circle where several of us are teaching exercises to help you open to your intuition, August 22. So all that's coming up at MeWeFairs.com. All right. Did I see? Oh, RaShar's here. Let's have RaShar share first. I know she's got to go. So RaShar, go ahead, share your name and your modalities and your contact info so people can reach out to you that watch the video.
Yes, okay, cool. RaShar Divine is at soulsovereigntysolutions.com. Booked for August. So I have one day for MeWe people. So I'm keeping open.
Thank you. So her special is $22 for 15 minutes. Thanks, RaShar.
Okay. Thank you.
Great.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Who wants to jump in and share next, practitioners? I'll
go.
All right.
So hello or good night. I'm Galactic Ashley, and I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. I use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. And if you are interested in and you want to get your galactic groove on with a whole bunch of amazing souls, we just started the Galactic Guided Intensive called Meet the Galactics, and each week different star nations come in and they share ascension guidance and their energies with you. So it's an awesome opportunity to see what star nations you align with. And there's a coupon code in the chat, and then you can find me in galacticashley.com, and I am on Instagram and Facebook, and I have a bunch of very recent awesome YouTube experiences that are free on YouTube. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Galactic Ashley. All right, and Rina-fay, it's late where you are. Do you want to share next?
Yes, it was lovely to spend my late evening with everyone. My name is Rina-fay. I am the River Witch Fairy, and I'm a fairy shaman who works with fairies to help connect people with their divine and their natural sources, tapping into their intuition and their magic, and healing from heartbreak and trauma in their life, and also helping to keep children connected to their magic and their intuition as they grow. And yeah, I am offering, I think, $10 off any astrology reading. I do have an astrology menu. My info is in the chat. You can look me up on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. And I believe I put my email and phone number in the chat as well. And I offer many different services. And gosh, is there anything else I want to say tonight? Happy Lionsgate Portal, everyone. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, Rina-fay. All right, Susie or Valerie.
Oh, go ahead. So I'm Valerie Szarek, Poet Val, and I do energy work, shamanic healings, anywhere in the world, long distance, or in person in Colorado, if you're in Colorado. And I can also do poems on demand if you need a poem for something. If you go to Poet Val, poetval.com, you can hear me, my Native American flute playing, and some of my poems, and see my books, and read about my classes and healing work. So thanks, everybody.
Oh, maybe
Okay.
that didn't come through. Yeah, go ahead, Susie.
And cue Susie. I'm Susie Parker Goins at Blue Lightning Healing and Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. I'm a channel and an energy healer and a past life explorer. I work with you to teach you tools and techniques so that you can clear the path to have a more heartfelt life, accessing divine and accessible ways. So thanks so much. I've got a podcast called Blue Lightning Healing Meditations that uploads Thursdays and Mondays, and it's on YouTube, and you can find me at bluelightninghealing.com. And yeah, there is a 20% off coupon on my website. So just key in MeWe 20. Thanks so much.
And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I read your eyes, read your soul to help you express your soul purpose and answer questions about how to do that on this physical plane, how to understand others in your life. Ooh, someone here is in Brimfield. How exciting. And I also run all these MeWe events at mewefairs.com. That's MEWEFAIRS.com. And I don't think I said my website, laurelishimayo.com, LAURELISHIMAYO.com. And my sessions are 40% off if you've been here tonight. Just let me know. Sign up sometime in the next few days. It's great. Great that we're connected all around the world. All right. Everyone shared, right? I was the last one. I listed off our events. Let me unspotlight us and gallery view. We can see all of us who are left. Thank you everyone for staying. And yeah, the expanding opening energy of the Lionsgate.
Ooh,
all right, feel free.
Feeling it.
Feel free. Anyone else you want to unmute and just share something on the way out? We're happy to hear from you as we're moving along together. By the way, it was lovely as we're reading Abigail's, we're sharing with you. It got darker and darker and darker. It was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. It's just very cool. It feels, like long lost friends.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yay. Yeah. Oh. So thank you
My,
everyone so much. Go ahead, Val. Valerie.
Thank you.
I'm on a higher level than before I came. You know, it kind of rose, and I liked how all the repeating words like remember, and of course Wizard of Oz, and all the synchronicity was really fun for me.
That's beautiful. We are beautiful, what all of us that are here, what we all create together.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate all of the insights that you gave me. There was so much coming at me. I'm gonna definitely have to rewatch the recording again to make sure I can absorb more of it. Probably
Great.
more than once.
And I have to get
Yes.
to higher speed internet to upload all the recordings, but I can get you just a link instead of on YouTube. I can just get you a link from Dropbox if you want to watch it sooner. So just reach out to me.
Okay, I will do that, but you do what you need to do, and I'm not in a huge hurry. I'm sitting here in my muck and just
And play.
marinating in it. Yeah.
Play. You're
Yes,
playing. with
and
the mic.
playing. Yes. Yes. And Poet Valerie, I'm in Broomfield, just right next to you.
Hey,
Yeah.
hi neighbor.
Yes. Anyway, thank you again.
Yeah, poet Val at poetval.com if you want to reach out.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for being here. All right, great. Oh, and let me put in the chat again too. I'll get in just my contact info, and then I'll put in the forum again. If you are open to giving us feedback about tonight, we'll enter you into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. I'll get that in here again in the chat. Yeah, so if you click the link, it should open up another window, and yeah, give us feedback before you go. Start moving people to the waiting room in another moment. You get a chance to get into the chat. So thank you, Jonah and Misha and Abigail for asking questions with us tonight. I'm going to turn off the subtitles and turn off the recording.